Hi guys! This is another one of those ramble videos where I discuss the technical issues and the things I'm doing to try and improve the quality of my videos. If you're not interested in that side of things, and I would not blame you, you can skip this one. It's not really going to contain anything other than nerdy stuff. Having got that out of the way, before I move on to the main subject, which is my new capture card, I want to talk about audio glitches, because who doesn't get excited by that subject, right? Am I right? Well, the reason I'm discussing this subject is that the other day I had to pull one of my videos, the Dishonored Death of the Outsider video, because there was a fairly major audio glitch. And I just want you to know that has absolutely nothing to do with my attempts to get 1440p videos. It had nothing to do with that whatsoever. I've actually been having audio glitches for several months, and I'm pretty damned sure it's a problem with the capture card I was using and the software that comes with it after a Windows 10 update. So I'll pause for a second while everyone types how much they hate Microsoft, blah blah blah. But yeah. So Microsoft had a bit of an update, Windows 10 got a new version, everything stopped working horribly for my recordings, and I had to roll back to an earlier version. But I never totally fixed the issue. I mean, it was better than it was, because trust me, after this update, all of the audio was so out of sync, it was ridiculous. It was unusable. I got it working again, but I did get occasional glitches. And you can probably hear them in some of my videos. Occasionally you'll hear a slight stutter in the microphone, or every now and again maybe some distortion in the game audio. It didn't happen too often, but it did happen. In some of my tutorials I actually edited it out or completely re-recorded the thing. You can imagine this was not the best thing ever, but I had it under control. However, when I switched to Vegas Pro 15, what I found was that program did not handle those audio glitches quite as well. Instead of a little stutter, it basically freaked out and started pulling audio from random places in the file by the looks of things. So you were getting ghost audio. Now, I've actually, I think, figured out how to get Vegas Pro to treat that audio the same way Vegas Pro 12 did. So I've sort of, I say fixed the problem. I've got the problem back to where it was prior to moving over to Vegas Pro 15. You can imagine this is definitely not the correct way to fix it, but it does mean I can hopefully re-render some of the Skyrim videos I've got prepared. I've got a lot of episodes of Skyrim Special Edition prepared, and I was hoping to upscale them to 1440p just to give a bit of an option for higher quality. I'm going to test one of them, but I'm going to have to see if the audio problem has been fixed. If not, I'm afraid I'm not going to upscale those Skyrim videos because it would take too long to fix the audio manually. I have to actually go in and start re-rendering the audio in one program, then inserting it back into another program, and it's a nightmare. I could do it, but it would take several hours per video. So you can imagine that is not something I really want to do. The Skyrim Special Edition videos are actually rendered and ready to go. I'm ready to sort of release them every week now, which is very cool. It's giving me a bit of free time now to test the new system. If I have to spend the next couple of weeks just re-editing all those videos, it's going to be wasted time. So basically, if I've managed to fix that issue, I may still upload the Skyrim Special Edition videos, is what I'm saying. However, the real thing I need to do is get rid of those audio glitches, right? I think I've done that. I think the problem was the old capture card and software. And of course, I've got a new capture card, a 4K capture card. It's in the machine now. And I have spent the last couple of days testing it out. And I don't think there are going to be any audio issues. The capture card is actually the Elgato 4K60 Pro, which is a really nice card. It even looks damned nice. But the software that it comes with is pretty underwhelming. It's very bare bones. it does pretty much the most basic things. You can change a few settings and then hit a button and it records. It does less than pretty much every single recording program I know of at the moment. It won't even record microphone footage, and the maximum bit rate on the recordings is 60 megabits per second, which is, I mean, it's good enough for most games, but it's not at the high end. I would normally be wanting to push something like 120 megabits per second for a game like Skyrim, so, you know, the software is not the greatest, but it works just fine with OBS. So I've been testing it out a lot with that program. In fact, I've probably spent about 20 hours just running around the marsh area outside of Solitude. And for those of you who are wondering why that area, that is traditionally one of the worst areas to record in. Video codecs hate that area. They don't like foliage in general, but that area really does sort of make codecs work for it, and you almost never get good looking footage there. If you do any amount of movement in the marshlands, it ends up looking pretty bad. The trick to getting good footage in that area is to not move very much. Move very slowly and turn very slowly, because there's just too much going on. But of course, this makes it a great place to mess around with settings, and that's what I've been doing. Basically, I mean, for such a long time. I've tested pretty much all the options you can test, and I've now got a fairly good idea of how far I can push this and how far I might be able to push it if I upgrade my render rig. My render rig is pretty weak. It contains an i5, a 3570K, I believe, so it's not the strongest machine, and I've actually found that if I go over about 50% CPU, whatever program I'm using will generally start to drop the occasional frame, the occasional stutter. It's not anything major, but if you play for long sessions for sort of like 2 or 3 hours, you'll normally notice a few stutters here and there, so I could do with upgrading. However, I can use the NVIDIA card I've put in that machine, and that is pretty damned good. As long as I keep the bitrate up at about 120, 130, I get really clear footage, and it's very usable. I may still upgrade, especially once I start doing some serious 1440p recordings, but right now I'm actually pretty comfortable with the idea that I could buy a 1440p monitor and start recording 1440p footage, which of course will improve the videos a hell of a lot. I have now actually used the card in a real life situation, so to speak. I recorded the last episodes of the Forest playthrough, and the footage was fine. I've used it to make 2 more episodes. Those will be going up pretty soon, and I had absolutely no trouble with the footage whatsoever. It was very easy to edit, and I'm pretty damn pleased with the results. I'm going to upload that pretty soon, and I will be checking the comments just in case you guys spot anything that I missed, but I'm pretty sure we're on the right track. I'm going to record episode 3 of Dishonored Death of the Outsider, and again I will upload that and keep my eyes on the comments just in case there are some issues. But I think at this point I'm ready to actually say 1440p is a definite possibility, is definitely something I want to explore further. I am going to order a 1440p monitor, and then I will start recording 1440p as soon as that arrives. This probably means I will be doing some more episodes of Dishonored on the 1080p recordings and upscaling it. But at some point, assuming no problems occur and the monitor arrives before I finish that game, I will start recording 1440p, and then we'll have a whole new thing to talk about as to whether or not that's made a difference, whether the quality is really, noticeable. I'm sure it will be, actually, especially in the Dishonored game. I did notice that Dishonored does not have as many problems with the YouTube codec as does Skyrim, and it's probably due to the art style, the simplicity of the image in general, the overall lack of foliage, and even the foliage you have is actually fairly uniform. So I think Dishonored may be one of those where when we get to 1440p, if you're on a 1080p monitor, you're probably not even going to notice it because the image is already pretty good. If you're on a 1440p monitor, you will notice it, obviously, because it'll be higher resolution. So, but we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, well, thank you for listening this far and letting me ramble on. I will keep you informed, and I will see you next time.